we'll be looking at really are politicians weaponizing the issues for selfish gain. Today we're asking that question. This particular question strikes at the heart of our democracy. Are Nigerian politicians exploiting national crisis for personal and political gain? Look around. Every day we face real problems: rising insecurity, crippling inflation, unemployment, and a failing power sector. Yet, instead of solutions, what do we often get? Blame games, empty rhetoric, and sudden urgency only during election seasons. Bandits and terrorists strike daily, yet some politicians allegedly negotiate with them for votes or financial gain. Others use the fear of violence to push divisive narratives. Now, the removal of subsidies caused hardship, but where is the transparency? Are the savings truly being reinvested, or is it another opportunity for corruption? Ahead of elections, tensions flare. Are leaders truly concerned about unity, or are they weaponizing identity politics to cling to power? Politicians approve huge allowances for themselves while dragging their feet on workers' wages. Is governance about service or self-enrichment? Today we ask, is this leadership or exploitation? Are our politicians solving Nigerians' problems or profiting from them? We want to hear from you, the people living with these realities every day. Call us now at the numbers displayed on your screen, or send us a message on our social media handles to share our experiences. Now, Hauwa, over to you. What do you think about politicians and making everything about themselves, or rather for their self-gain?
When it comes to politics in Nigeria, and when you look at the track records and the trends that go on in the political scene, you would see that all man is for himself, and as they say, it's a dog-eat-dog world. When it comes to doing things that affects the masses, that affects the people, as said here, there are particular situations where allowances are increased, where expenditure is being expenses are being made, and at a point where those funds or some type of fund is needed for a particular project that would trickle down and affect the masses, they would say the funds are not there, funds are not available, and things like that. When it comes to governance itself, when you look at it with the trend that is going on right now, you would see that the focus is not on governance, it is already on, politicizing and going about, trying to put together for the next election year. And that in itself is, should I say, wrong priorities at the end of the day. But then there are different situations where we have the issue of insecurity, we have the issue of healthcare. And then at the end of the day, those things are not tackled with the immediate emergency that is needed to be tackled. So you would ask yourself, are they there for themselves, or are they there for the greater good? That is a question we're asking you as well. Tell us experiences and, point of view and your thoughts. Call us on the numbers displayed on your screen and get involved in the conversation. Are politicians weaponizing issues for selfish gain? Let us know. Let us hear your thoughts. Send us a WhatsApp message as well. All right. We have something to be displayed before we carry on.
I want to amend a little bit of amendment and state weaponization of poverty. Why I say so? When I was growing up in the north, the most prosperous city or state was Kano State. The most prosperous. And incidentally, as soon as I finished my secondary school, my first location was Kano State. I never saw people sleeping outside. Then there were no fridges or flyovers. I never saw people sleeping outside or outside the shops in Kano State. Recently, people were all over state sleeping under the bridge, on the streets, who were driven out by poverty and insecurity. There is a state agency in Kano responsible for providing succor to such people. And they started doing their work and enlightening people and removing people from under the bridges and outside on the streets. What happened? They were called to Abuja and they were told to stop it. That is why I said I wanted to amend the topic of today to add state weaponization of poverty. This particular government is weaponizing poverty. You may call me a conspirator, you may call me anything, and that is why we are in this alliance, to make sure we don't allow them to continue weaponizing policy. Of course, one of our star conspirators is Governor Rotimi Amici. Therefore, we are here to wish you many happy returns of the day, and we will continue to conspire with you to make sure we minimize poverty and we don't use state machinery to weaponize poverty. I thank you very much. God bless you all.
Did you hear that? We'll continue to conspire you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But then at the end of the day, when you look at it, it is absolutely true in Nigeria. Politics is being weaponized when it comes to the people. But then would you ask yourself and say they're all the same when it comes to it, even though he's talking about it, he's voicing it out? But then let's hear from our first caller of the day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Can you speak louder? What is your name and where are you calling from?
Okay. Yeah, my name is Dr. Suleiman Shaibu. I'm calling you from Kano.
All right, Dr. Suleiman, let us hear your thoughts on the issue.
Yeah. It may not be wrong to actually say the politicians are actually weaponizing issues for their personal or self-interest. Looking at what is happening, if you put together the government and perhaps the recent development of the so-called coalition going on. If you look at before now, there was coalition in the past that at the end of the day resulted in the change of the government. But because there was no blueprint as to what they will do to better the life of Nigerians, if you ask an average Nigerian today, will tell you that his life did not get better. Likely, the present development of the coalition is only telling us what we know, but they have tend to come out to tell Nigerians that what plans do they have in place, that if they come on board, they will do better that will consequently result in the relief of the present situation the Nigerians are passing through. If you check the administration of today, it is quite disheartening. Just 2 years, halfway into the mandate given to you, all their activities now are centered on how to get re-elected. What have you done that given to you? The first 2 years scorecard, if we are going to be honest and sincere to ourselves, is a period that gets Nigeria more devastated economically. It's a period that gets Nigeria devastated security-wise. The trust between the government and the government got more worse than ever. And all we are really doing is how do we get re-elected? The people that have elected you have been completely neglected. The recent research of the insecurity in Nigeria cannot be dissociated with the issue of the election. Why in Nigeria that even the lives of the masses, we can play politics with it? The blame, the spreading of blame between the opposition and the government will be saying the opposition is sponsoring insecurity in order to discredit the government before the masses. And then we should be serious. I'm afraid where we are heading to in this country. I'm afraid where we are heading to. Countries that are not as big as Nigeria are doing everything humanly possible to better the lives of their citizens. But in Nigeria, because the reverse is the case. So it may not be wrong if we say all of them are doing whatever they are doing just for their own personal gain. Many people are now breaking their even voters card saying they will not come out and vote. Although we are sensitizing people not to do so, because that is what the ruling class wanted. If you don't come out and vote at the end of the day, whoever they place, so be it. But people are getting frustrated, their vote doesn't count any longer. You can see where we are heading to in Nigeria, gradually thinking towards a one-party state in Nigeria for heaven's sake. People are not ashamed. You are in a political party that you won election under that platform. For whatever reason, you now protested and go into the ruling party.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. That was a lot. And he hammered on the key points whereby each and every aspect he spoke about really highlighted the, selfish interest that's always been shown, or that's always been depicted, to be honest, whereby every strategy, every move is based and banked on, selfish gain. Exactly. And personal gain. Exactly. There are lots of things that are bedeviling Nigeria, just like the rising insecurity, the crippling inflation. We have unemployment and a failing power sector, as well as the educational system, as well as the healthcare system.
We also have infrastructure lying down there.
Absolutely, absolutely. There are lots of things that need to be focused on, but at the end of the day, a lot of things are being used to propel one's career politically. What do you think about that?
Well, for me personally, I always say that Nigeria is at that level where politicians should not use the basic amenities that citizens are meant to have as a criteria for them to be in office.
Absolutely.
Because when you talk about water, when you talk about electricity, when you talk about infrastructure, when you talk about health, when you talk about education,
transportation,
these are very key basic amenities that on a normal, it is basic that a country is supposed to have all of this.
Absolutely.
So as a leader, if you're coming in to rule your people for a particular number of years, I feel there are specific issues that have not yet been addressed. These are very, very, very serious and key issues that are meant to be addressed. And then you're looking at, oh, I'm going to build roads for you, I'm going to give you water, I'm going to give you good healthcare system, I'm going to give you free education.
When it comes to projects in Nigeria, when it comes to things that are meant to be done in order for Nigeria to be a better place, it is seen as a privilege given to the people in a way, when it is absolutely their right in itself for all those things to be done at the end of the day. You're supposed to be there to serve the people. You're supposed to be there to make sure that the country moves forward into, a better dimension. But then at the end of the day, people are being held hostage to what they deserve. And it makes it seem as if anybody with the right senses comes in and does the needful that they are required to do, as at that point that they're, where they are. It's seen as a gift of life. It's seen as a gift to people. It's seen as something out of the ordinary at the end of the day.
It's just like what the first caller said, where he spoke about, leaders using, I think, the poor situation of Nigerians to get to a particular level. And, it just shows that it's so sad that the leaders are comfortable with, this particular challenges and issues that Nigerians are facing, because I don't see any reason why people would, say that for the next election they are not ready to vote. So we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, sisters. My name is Ade. I'm calling from London.
Good morning, Ade. How's London this morning?
London is very cool.
Okay.
For you to come out.
That's beautiful.
All right. Let us hear your thoughts on this issue.
Nigerian politicians, they are weaponizing for issue for selfish gain. That's the truth. They do that. And it's only in Nigeria that I hear one phrase. Politician will tell you, politics is about interest. I never heard that here. So when politicians tell you that politics is about interest, they are telling you it's about interest of themselves and their families. Politics is about people, caring for people. But you tell you it's about interest. So when somebody say that, what do you expect from him? So that's why you see what is happening now. I was listening on news this morning. The reporter was telling us in Nigeria that the people in IDP come from the flood in Niger. There is no calm, nothing. No aid comes to them. Nothing. And they are just there struggling to eat. What the country is that they have politicians, they have senator, reps, House of Assembly governor, local government chairman. This morning, the reporter was telling us that nothing is happening there. Can you imagine? So that shows that they are thinking about their own interest. If such a thing happened in Europe, my God, we'll have seen everything change now. Number one, they will just put everybody in the hotel, the people, and care for everyone. Insurance doesn't work in Nigeria. So I don't know what's going on. Look at who died in Kano in the accident. I understand the governor of Muslim went there and gave each family 1 million. What is 1 million? I know it's not his fault. You see? So all these things, I don't know. Nigeria doesn't have to suffer. We are very endowed. We have everything, mineral resources, but we don't have the management. That's the problem. You see, Nigeria is richer than UK 10 times, 100 times. Because they don't have anything here. It's only tax. In UK, when they tell you are earning £5,000 a month, people will calculate it. But in that 5,000, you are going to pay 20% tax. And you know how much is the balance. talking of rent and all this stuff. But in Nigeria, God, I said, Nigeria doesn't have problem at all, but this is what is happening. So like I said, we need prayer. We continue to pray until we get it right and get the right people to be at the realm of affairs. So I'm not in support of politicians, honestly, because I don't know what, they don't have conscience at all. Look at those people in Niger State. Look at the Kano, who were sleeping and the flood just took them away. By now, I should expect them, government body to be there. Even the president to visit the place where over 200 lost their life. You see, I don't know, but God will help us. What can we do? Thank you, my sister. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Ade, he spoke about a couple of key points when it comes to, as we said, politicians weaponizing the issues. It is when a situation happens, that is when you would see someone show face and do the little that they think is deserved, so that, you know, it would be all over the place that this person is doing what he's supposed to. But then at the end of the day, when you get into the nitty gritty, when you get into what is needed, you would absolutely see that not even a tip of that hill has been touched.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is John. I'm calling from Mina.
Good morning, John. What are your thoughts on today's topic?
It's painful. It's sad. I've seen situations outside this country that Nigerians are made to head organizations and they work things out peacefully and systematically. But I've seen a situation in Nigeria that we don't have that in place. All of us are blaming our leaders. We have forgotten that we should blame also the electorate, the card-carrying people who will still sing praises come 2027, clamoring that this person is good, this person is good, this person is good, forgetting the antecedents of what had actually happened to us as a nation. Somebody who has not performed is not meant to go back the second time. I am a classroom teacher. If, by the grace of God, you do not meet the requirements to move to the next class or the next level, what are you supposed to do? You go back and repeat that previous class. And that is the situation where we are as a nation. We promote illegality. We promote insensitive issues. I have been listening to this conversation since, and I've listened to what everybody has been saying. I don't blame the leaders. No, I blame the electorate, yourself, myself, because we have failed to ask questions. We have failed to put these leaders into check. Why? We are the same group of people that will still go around all these individuals and ask them for money. Just imagine, in an election where somebody is given 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, and one packet of spaghetti, what do you expect that person to do? Where did he get the money for that purpose? Where did he get those resources from? These are Nigerian resources. We should be questioned. They will tell you, no, some people raised funds for it. Those people that raised the funds, where did they get the money from? I think it is high time we change the narrative as a nation and ask ourselves one basic question: what is going on around us? Moreover, your media house and all other media houses should please educate the masses. It is not about collecting money from people before election. Let us know what they have done. Did they pass? Did they cross over the pass mark? If yes, then they deserve to be voted for the second time. And if no, why must you collect a thing from them? And that is what they keep hinging on. That's what they keep holding on to. They will tell you that after it's our money that brought us there. So all the dilapidated infrastructures that everybody is shouting and talking about, we should expect that to happen. Because no businessman will invest 1 naira and not think of how to make his 1 naira back plus some extra change on top. Abi, my sister, like, can I ask you a question? If you sell in the market and you take a mudu of rice to the market and you sell it for 1,000 naira, sorry, you buy it for 1,000 and you take it back to the market and sell for 1,000 naira, what have you done to yourself? Have you made profit? No. What you have already done there is just to be you are playing humanitarian services to people. So we should stop playing lip services to what is right, to what is wrong. Look at our educational system. Everybody keeps shouting, why is ASU always going on strike? I stand authoritatively to tell you that go around the whole of Africa, Nigerian lecturers are the poorest paid. $3,500 is what they are paying in Common Republic of Benin here. I'm not even talking about Ghana. I'm not talking about Togo. I'm not talking about the West African countries. I'm not talking about the South African countries. Let me share this again with you. How many of our governors, how many of our commissioners, how many of our councillors, how many of our council chairmen, how many of our ministers have worked hand in hand with research institutes?
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. He said a lot. And to be honest, there are a couple of points in there that he really made. He said the politicians are not the only ones to be blamed. The constituents as well are to be blamed when it comes to voting, when it comes to picking who you want to be your leader, the person that is supposed to deliver the deliverables. You have to open your eyes and look at the choices that you have. So make sure that you're involved, you're informed and educated about all the processes. And at the end of the day, there's something that he made note of, that Nigerians need to be educated when it comes to each and every aspect of, governance and their life as well. So we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
This is Shetima Yakudima calling from Adamu.
Good morning, Shetima. How is Maiduguri this morning?
Adamu is good, alhamdulillah.
We were thinking you were not going to call in this morning. We were thinking you were not going to call in this morning.
No. I'm just trying. Network.
All right, go ahead with your thoughts.
It's also part of selfish game.
Yes.
Yeah, and politicians for weaponizing issues for selfish gain. It is true. It is true, no doubt about that. Because if you look at the way and manner Nigeria is governing, it is offered all around with selfish interest. Because politicians of now, honestly speaking, Hauwa, they did not come for the interest of the nation. And to serve for the purpose to serve their subjects, but rather they come for the purpose to serve themselves and their immediate family. Even their neighbor was not considered, unless if you are errant boy to them. That's the attitude and nature of our politicians. But with respect, I stand to be corrected, and not all like that. There is few among them who are good. And that's the one that we want to maintain. And those who are, we recognize them with that attitude, we have to vote them out, whether they like it or not. This is obvious. So you see, if you look at it very well, the way we have been governing wrongly, honestly speaking. Because look at the way now, our pledges, the way they have been displaced, each and everything. But no politician is showing concern to bring the topic or to bring the issue to present it in the two houses. They are there doing what they think it is good for them. But notwithstanding, by God's willing, something will happen. And that's something, Nigeria will gain her peace back. And Nigeria will gain her strength back. Look at the issue of this foreign loan. No any member is trying to challenge that loan. Why? Because of the personal gain that we are talking about. Look at the way our country has become a borobo. In the olden days, we used to give. We used to not give loans to other countries. A big country. But now we turn to the borrowing. And if they borrow, expecting to show on ground, all this is selfish interest. So it's a selfish gain. So we are calling for our Nigerian politicians. They should change this dance. They should dance to the tune of the public. They should do something that the citizens they will get out of it. Or rather, now I think the time of politics is gone by God's will. A very surprise event will happen 2027 by God's will. Well, now we have gained our conscience. We think enough. We think enough. Change will come by God's will. So they should change this politics of everything. They should serve people. And we are praying for God to change their mind. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you so much, Shatima, for your contributions as always. We'll now take a couple of the WhatsApp messages that we have here today. This is from Ibrahim Ahmed from Yola, and he says, politicians steal and borrow campaign funds to win elections. We are a people without ideology, principles, integrity, and morality. Politicians are from amongst us, so blaming them for taking care of themselves is not right. The solution to all of this political shamelessness is to stop them from defecting. Why is it easy for them to abandon their party but would not abandon their mansion when it's on fire? All right, there's a couple of points that was made by Ibrahim Ahmed. Definitely. I believe we have another message from Fabian Nsunkola. Can you see it, Maimuna?
Okay, okay. I think I can see the one from Israel.
All right.
Yes, the one for Israel.
But then we have it displayed over there.
Yes,
Go
okay,
ahead.
yes. Okay, the one from Fabian from Benue State. He says, weaponizing issues for selfish gain is concerning. The societal polarization and crisis in Africa, including coordinated attacks ongoing in different parts of Nigeria, is undoubtedly traceable to this. When politicians prioritize personal interest over public welfare, what do we expect? This behavior can also undermine trust in governance and institutions. It's essential for citizens to stay informed critically, evaluate information, and demand accountability from their leaders to promote a more equitable and just society.
That is quite a point you made, Fabian, when it comes to being informed, being educated on things that happen, so that at least you can demand for accountability when the time comes, and your eyes would be open to things that are being done, and you would know right from wrong. That in itself will make sure that, you know, the people that are in power or in position of power would understand that, okay, the people know their rights. So we would have to do the necessary. If we don't do that, we will be held accountable.
It's just like what the other caller said, John from Mina. He said, you know, if you don't perform the first time, what are you coming back to do the second time?
Absolutely.
And it's the honest truth, because I don't expect that to say, okay, we're trying to give them a second chance for them to make, you know, amends for the certain things they have not been able
At
to
the end
do.
of the day, we have another message from Nandi Betty from Cross River State. They said, yes, they are. that means they're saying, yes, the politicians are selfish. The attitude of Nigerian politicians towards the welfare of citizens gives one the impression that the electorates vote politicians into offices to go and enjoy the good life on behalf of the masses. Healthcare is one instance. In addition to the poor health facilities, the ordinary Nigerian cannot even afford the cost of medication due to poverty. But politicians fly abroad on state resources to treat common cold and malaria in Paris or London hospitals.
He's so on point.
This is unfortunate and very saddening. And that particular point that they made, that are they elected to get into seats to enjoy on behalf of the masses,
exactly.
Which, to be honest, when you look at it, it seems like they are enjoying on behalf of the masses.
They are.
Absolutely. But as they said, there are lots of things that need to be looked at, and they're being neglected. There's one thing that a caller said yesterday on yesterday's show. They were like, if one particular sector is looked at and given the full attention, at least that would strive and make sure that that particular sector would work. And if that actually did take, let's say, 2-4 years to rebuild and make sure that it's in tip-top condition to work as it is supposed to, when the next government comes, you pick another sector and work on that. At least that would make sure that all concentration and all resources are going to each and each and every sector, making sure that they work like a well-oiled machine. Then I think we have one last message to take before we go on a break.
Okay, we have a message from Israel. He says, good morning, Trust TV. Good morning, Israel. Politicians are always leveraging on divided citizens. Even in developed countries, if the citizens are ignorant on how to run their economy, particularly weak institutions like ours, is going to be dangerous anticipation. We, the citizens, need enlightenment about economy and reform and our economy on performance index. Thank you so much, Israel.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
Right.
It's always spoken about. You have to arm yourself with knowledge in order for you to be able to, stand up for yourself and for your right as well. Is a two-way street type of thing. You can see the fault of, the people that are in power, the people that are meant to serve your best interests at the end of the day. But then we continue to pray for Nigeria. We continue to hope that eyes are open and people are being given what is necessary, the basic amenities that are supposed to, a country is supposed to have for them to live an easy life. Hopefully that would be a thing of the past, weaponizing, issues in order for them to selfishly gain. That is all we have on this segment. We always appreciate your thoughts. It is a very, very important to hear your thoughts on present issues, present issues that are going on in the country. So make sure you continue to stay tuned. We'll be going on a short break. Make sure you stay with us. We'll be going into our next segment, which we will dive into, this issue of politics and, ideological politics in Nigeria. So make sure you stay tuned and we'll see you in a bit.